Jon Bint on the show now. Good morning, Jon.
Good morning, Neil.
Welcome along. So, ringing and singing, it's a busy day. Tell us what's happening.
It certainly will be, yes. We've taken as our theme for the day one of the old ringing folk songs that Wren have curated from the Bearing Gould manuscripts. And this one will take us over to Pyworthy, North Petherwin, which is historically a Devon parish, so we'll reclaim that one. Broadwood, Widger, Ashwater and Bratton Clovelly. We'll be ringing in all of those, and in the at Ashwater we'll have 3 ladies teams going up against each other in a competitive thing, as per the song. But of course, back in the day, it was all men, so we thought we'd give the ladies a chance to shine.
Of course, it all starts at 9:30 this morning, so you'll be at St Swithin's Church in Pyworthy.
Yes.
But the first 3 churches, people are invited to come along and try it out if they've never done any bell ringing.
Very much so, yeah. They're all, reasonable weight rings of bells, 6s, Pyworthy, North Petherwin and Broadwood. Yeah, we'll have some experienced ringers on hand, so it's a good opportunity if somebody would like to get on the rope and at the same time to see up close, because ringing can often be very much sort of out of sight.
And is there any special skill that's needed?
Yeah, I mean, hand-eye coordination. People say, folks, do you have to be musical? Well, not as such, but it's a sense of rhythm and really, being able to ring to a rhythm and hold that rhythm in your head and in your body, if you like.
And you mentioned you'll be joined by Wren Music today, so tell us more about them and what they've curated.
I've known Paul and Marilyn for a good while because they're not so far away, and worked with them. Wren Trust did some invaluable work years ago with digitising the manuscripts of the Reverend Savon Baring Gould, Lou Trenchard, and this real treasure trove of folk song that he collected in his travels, and that's been central to a lot of what Wren Music have done over the years, and it's since been sort of passed on to the English Folk Song Dance Society. But you can, the wonders of these things, you can go online and find see the digital manuscripts, which is it's wonderful from research purposes. This is where the tie-up comes, as we found last year. But in Devon and Cornwall, there's this body of folk song which relates to bell ringing, more specifically in a competition context, which again is a great part of the ringing tradition in Devon and Cornwall. And we find there's these songs, the Egglesale is a well-known one. There's actually 2 versions of that one in a major key, one in a minor key. Torrington, Dalton, and then this Ashwater one, which is probably the most well-known one. But the one this year we're taking is just a shorter version that was collected a little bit later on, in about 1907, I think it was, from a blacksmith in Loudoun area. This one just has 1 verse and 1 chorus, but importantly, it lists, in addition to North Lou and Ashwater and Broadwood, which is the other tower mentioned in the other version, it lists Pyworthy, Bratton Clovelly as well as being present at this ringing match in Ashwater. So those are the towers we're taking, with the exception of North Lou this year, because the bell cracked and they've had to take out the tower and to get them welded up, so we can't go there this year.
So back to the bell ringing itself. Is bell ringing an act of worship or tradition, or is it both?
It's many things. Basically, it is whatever it is to the individual, because, to many it will be an act of worship. But the history of the bells is, it goes back to a time when sacred and secular were not quite so apart as they are now. Really, I think it's down to the Victorians, but the church was, the central part of the village or town, the community. The bells were used for any occasion, and the ringers did have a great deal of autonomy, really. And the bells were there marking all sorts of things from the earliest days, time, as well as perhaps services, but times of the day, really. It isn't really till Victorian times that you get this idea of Sunday morning church service ringing. A lot of the time before that, they're used for any amount of different reasons, largely not connected with the church.
You can find details of today's challenge and what's ahead at devonbells.co.uk, but also on there you've launched a recruitment campaign.
Yes, we are very much so. It's at a critical time, as a local tradition. This is where it ties up with the folk music. It's very much an oral tradition. It's handed down. We want to keep that going, but that will only happen if we're active. In this day and age, there are a lot more things that we're up against, if you like, to keep it going, especially in the digital age. You can imagine.
5 bell towers in one day to celebrate 100 years of bell ringing. Today, the Devon Association of Ringers are joined by singers from the Devon music charity Wren Music, and it's a massive challenge ahead. But Vice Chair Jon Bint, good luck, and thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thank you very much, Neil.